You're listening to Battling Opioids, the podcast. Battling Opioids, the podcast, now on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcast, TuneIn, Amazon, YouTube, and now radio.com.
Battling Opioids podcast, Week in Review.
The company that made billions selling the prescription painkiller OxyContin has filed for bankruptcy days after reaching a tentative settlement with many of the state and local governments suing it over the toll of opioids. The filing late Sunday night in White Plains, New York, was anticipated before and after the tentative deal was struck. It could be worth up to $12 billion over time. But legal battles still lie ahead for Purdue. About half the states have not signed on to the proposal. Several of them plan to object to the settlement in bankruptcy court and to continue litigation in other courts against members of the Sackler family, which owns the company. The bankruptcy means that Purdue will likely be removed from the first federal opioid trial, scheduled to start in Cleveland on October 21st. Presented by Battling Opioids, a project of Pennsylvania Public Media. While the nation's attorneys general debate a legal settlement with Purdue Pharma, the opioid epidemic associated with the company's blockbuster painkiller OxyContin rages on. The drugs still kill tens of thousands of people each year with no end in sight. Pennsylvania's York County investigated 8 suspected overdose deaths in the single week of August, 4 in 24 hours. Coroner Pam Gay says it's going to take a while to see a decline. Purdue has entered a proposed settlement with about half of the states and 2,000 local governments. But attorneys general in Pennsylvania and many other states have come out against the deal, calling it insufficient. They vow to continue litigation against the company and the family that owns it. Presented by Battling Opioids, a project of Pennsylvania Public Media. The proposed settlement with OxyContin maker Purdue Pharma would raise money to clean up the opioid mess by selling more opioids. That would amount to blood money, in the opinion of some critics, and it's one reason 24 states have rejected the settlement. The proposed settlement could be worth $10 billion or more over time. The company is making a case for it in bankruptcy court as a way to end some 2,600 lawsuits, most of them from state, local, and tribal governments seeking to hold the company accountable for an opioid crisis that's claimed 400,000 lives in the U.S. in the last 2 decades. Under the deal, a reformed version of the company could keep selling the drug, with profits helping fund the settlement. Presented by Battling Opioids, a project of Pennsylvania Public Media.
Recovery starts with a call. Call 1-800-662-HELP or visit battlingopioids.org.
It doesn't take long to become addicted to opioids. 13 Pennsylvanians die from them every day. Geisinger is committed to ending opioid addiction with both prevention and treatment. In the last 3 years, we've reduced the amount of opioids we prescribe by 50%, and we've opened 4 medication-assisted treatment centers across the state to help patients recover from addiction. Learn more at geisinger.org/haveenough.